all showdowns, and I think it was the way that Port Adelaide lost, to be 42 points up with 40 minutes to play and to get rolled. The atmosphere was incredible, and I think Mark Williams has taken. We spoke, listened to him earlier, and there were positives out of last week, and he's kept his chin up, but it's been hard for Port people this week.
Well, there's David Neitz, Melbourne skipper, and he trudges off back into the Melbourne backline. And on the bench for Port to start the game, Jared Schofield, Braden Lyle, Stuart Dew and Donald Dickey.
Not the tallest bench you've seen, Drew?
No, it is a midget bench, isn't it, really? Well, Jeff White, he'd be licking his chops at the chance he's got here today. Barnaby French is going to start in the ruck for Port. And you would have to say that even though Primus did pass his fitness test, really in the 7 games so far this year, he hasn't shown us that he's right back to his 100% best. On the bench for Melbourne, Brad Green, Paul Wheatley, Troy Simmons and Ben Beams. So Port with a slight breeze right to left in the first quarter. And umpire Gavin Dorr, who's in charge today with Mark McKenzie and Vince Cercia. Gavin Dorr gets us underway. French and White got the second slap at it, and Melbourne go forward to the centre circle. They were held up. Hand pass back to Wilson. Spirals the ball towards centre half forward. Neat's in front. Can't complete the mark. It comes to the front. Fierce tackling by the Demons, making sure Powell weren't going anywhere. And the ball would be balled up at half forward for Port.
Drew, the other point on Barnaby French in the centre there with Matthew Primus and that virus. I think Jeff White just far too athletic, if there's any question mark over Matthew Primus at all.
Well, he has really lived up to his #1 draft tag. Certainly has been the goods. Franco gets the hand pass to Wilson, and they're off and running. The kick inside the 50. Play on, says the umpire. It comes down to Treadray. He's trying to get his hands free for the hand pass, and Melbourne blocking it up. Defending grimly here, the Demons, and another ball up.
So a promising start by Port Adelaide. The ball inside 50, and they need a good start. Confidence will be low after last week's shock defeat by the Crows. Leoncelli has been in great form this year. He falls on top of the ball. They want a free kick, they'll get a ball up. Just 35 metres from goal. So some pushing and shoving. Michael Wilson involved. Some finger pointing along with McDonald. Some chesting.
It's taken a while for the ball to get there, Kay, but hasn't been a clear passage of play just yet.
So a ball up just 35 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal. Always a lot of focus on Treadray on the forward line. Just feel he needs more support down there. Barnaby French went to do the shepherding. Chance for Morton around the corner. So a dangerous ball. Primus, one hand. It hasn't been paid. Tumbles the ball forward, taken by Neitz. I thought he put it out the line, bounced right on the line, so it's squeezed up on the boundary line. Primus again, take two, a centering kick, again a high ball. It's one for the high flyers. The big fist away by the Demons. Some quick hands, Gurgic squeezed up in the back pocket. Rockets the ball wide towards McDonald. Happy to thump the ball back over the line. I thought he may have controlled that, Primus.
Yeah, I thought it was a mark.
Had about 5 grabs at it.
As long as you're in control of the ball, it's a mark. So Primus takes that front position. Barnaby French came over the top. Franco had it ripped out of his arms. Woewoedin, what a season he's had. Good enough to get the ball out to Walsh. Just tumbles the ball forward. McDonald's a runner. Kicks the ball inside the centre square. Here comes the Ox. He's got it. Schwarz. Quick hands. Cameron Bruce pumps the ball on the forward line. Robertson out in front. A dangerous player. A good mark for his size. Buttoning the ball along is Fabian Francis. Does well. They'll toss it back in.
Well, in this game last year, Melbourne had 1 goal to half-time, and if this continues, 1 goal will look good.
Any second the game will start, Drew.
French worked pretty hard. Powell pulled off his kick. James McDonald crashes in there. Boy, he went in hard with Paxman. Well, that's a ball that's going nowhere. Woewoedin did go 10. The umpire pays the mark, and he's only 40 metres from goal.
Just saw Michael Wilson there looking for the body, but he managed to sneak under him, Woewoedin, and just kept the ball off the ground.
Well, he's kicking into this slight breeze, and it's not straight into his face, but across right to left as well. So slightly favour the right-hand goalpost, and the distance shouldn't bother him. Shane Woewoedin's had a magnificent season in 2000. Kicks from about 47. Beautiful kick for a goal.
Since starting with the Demons in 97, 77 consecutive games. And at the moment, one of their big midfield guns, White was up high, taken away by Burgoyne, thumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Corns caught from behind, crashing his way through his Walsh. Has really been a surprise packet this year. Pumps the ball out wide to space. Here's Woewoedin. He's a run-up. They're a pretty fit side, the Demons. Tries to drill the ball down, looking for Bruce. Finally takes it over the line. Boundary throw-in, and just a little bit of attention there from Bishop.
Darren Mead out for Port Adelaide. Broke his nose against Carlton 2 weeks ago. Had an operation, and Matthew Bishop has shown a bit so far, and he'll need to show plenty more in Port Adelaide's defence today. He'll have to step up.
Well, Woewoedin bowled over Wilson off the ball.
Well, here's the tagger today. Michael Wilson, Norwich Rising Star winner. Kicks long, centre half forward. Demons have the numbers. They'll share the ball around McDonald. Feign the hand pass. Came back, goes short. So they're looking for Woewoedin. Those quick hands to Neat, so the Demons into attack. Schwarz playing in front of Paxman. Goes to ground, might have got a shove. There was no free kick. Paxman with Burgoyne lends a hand. So a short transfer of play finds Fabian Francis. Paxman runs hard to space. At centre half back. Treadray, long way out in front of Neat's got the bounce he wanted. Was it a big arc? Rockets the ball long. Great play to Morton. Port Adelaide to the square, some pushing and shoving. Primus got his hands on the ball. He needs support. Stevens closes quickly. So does Walsh. Finally, the ball pushed back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Matthew Primus with the big brace on his left knee after the reconstruction last year, but that hasn't been his problem this week. Doubtful with a virus, had to go through a test before the game. French is working hard in the ruck and locks the ball in. Woewoedin over the ball. He's kicked the only goal of the game, and here he is about 10 metres outside the defensive goal.
Port Adelaide prefer Warren Treadray full forward leading for the square, but with Matthew Primus up there, he's playing that old-fashioned, just a big guy up there, kick it to him, and hopefully his body strength will allow him to outmark his opponent.
Blood rule for Guy Rigoni, and the umpire tells him to get off, so there'll be a hold-up. Isn't it great how the opposition always dob you in? They say, umpire, have a look at this fella, get him off.
Well, yesterday at Colonial Stadium we saw Alan Stoneham, the runner for St Kilda, was ordered off by the umpire because he had blood on his shirt.
Blood coming on for the D's, Brad Green.
Jobbing, obviously an accepted tactic nowadays, KB.
It's a very important tactic. Get a good player off the ground.
Well, here's a chance for Port. Close to goal. Primus palms the ball down. White does the work of a rover. Outside the 50. Uze round the corner. He gave it too much and kicked it out of bounds on the full. Montgomery takes the free kick. 30 metres from goal, and White is there, flying like a bird to take the mark. Away they go. Leon Chile gets the hand pass. Away to Powell. Short pass by Powell across to Neats. Up towards centre wing. Good kick, and Green just on the ground takes the mark. Well, champion junior cricketer tried out with Manchester United, so he's going all right in the AFL. Up to his the Ox. Schwarz inside the 50. Robertson. And the path to Robertson just cut off in front, and then he's bowled over in a magnificent tackle by Kingsley, and all he wins for that is a boundary throw-in. Well, and now a free kick to Port after a bit of a to-do after the ball had gone over the boundary line. Bishop will take the free kick. Matthew Bishop played 8 games for Melbourne last year, so he's in against a lot of players who he played with last year in the reserves for the Demons. Comes to Franco. Little hand pass away. Fired up by Francis. Through Treadray back to Francis. Kick by Fabian Francis is good. Primus. Punch to the front. Comes to Corns and bounces for a goal.
Promising player Chad Corns just into his second season. Interesting tactics. Primus in the goal square. Obviously, he's going to contest vigorously. They're going to push up and try and get some crumbs. The Demons from the centre square. A lot of manhandling off the ball. Uze just wobble the ball inside 50. Chance for Melbourne. Pitt feeds the ball off. Rigoni bounces the ball towards goals and puts it over the line. In fact, it's at the behind post as well for a boundary throw in.
KB, just on Port Adelaide's forward line, you've got Treadray, Primus, Corns and Harwood all up in the forward 50. It's a pretty tall forward line.
Well, when it's a tall forward line, you've got to make certain you actually can take some marks. It's Bruce, make that green, kicks a high ball, and taken by Francis in the back pocket. Usually very good at using the ball to Montgomery from half back. He was caught in two minds, decides to go to centre wing. Treadray was always the target. Wilson kicks it off the ground. Morton's going to hit the ball hard. He's a brave player, quick hands. Treadray under pressure again, a high ball. Didn't go 10 metres. James to Wilson. The Powell just forced the ball up to 50. Good play by Harwood, the youngster from Tasmania. Falls on top of the ball. He wants a free kick. Powell just shoveled the ball out for Melbourne. Pulled off the ball. Here's a chance for Franco. Presence of mind bowled over by McDonald. Harwood goes in hard. Gerchik's on his backside trying to get a handball away. But the whistle is gone. And a free kick will go to McDonald. To Woewoedin, their playmaker, who'll set it up wide to Walsh, who loves to run with the ball. Great chasing from behind. They'll set it up. Kingsley pumps the ball back. Here comes Neitz.
And Ingerson leaving Primus. Kicks to half back. Phoebe takes the mark. Up towards centre wing. And ball gathered just inside the boundary line by Whelan. Just outside the 50. Tackle might have been in the back by Pitt. And in fact, it's a Melbourne free kick. And the ball is coming back to Pitt. Making a return to AFL football. First time since '96. Ball sits for Powell. Doesn't quite grab it. Schwarz. Bishop spins out of trouble, does well. Stevens draws at a man. Fires out the hand pass. And Port looking okay. Carr to Harwood. Kick by Harwood to centre half forward. Corns with Goalkick. Corns gives him the set. Good hand pass into James. A goal!
The Power by 6 points. 2 goals to 1.
Important for Port Adelaide to kick goals early. When they kick points, they get frustrated and the use of the ball in the forward line isn't getting the result they need.
Uze kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. There's a good grab taken by Montgomery. It's always a strong mark for his size with the Western Bulldogs. Bishop, just a casual run, caught in two minds.
It's very casually went too far.
And he has gone far too far, more than the 15 metres. Powell, it all opens up now for Melbourne. Cameron Bruce has got it. He was the last selection in the 1999 draft for Melbourne. And he has been a real surprise packet this year. Cameron Bruce goes short and finds David Schwarz.
KB, that was a horrible mistake to run too far. He was under no pressure and he was looking for an opportunity to give it to someone. It was under no pressure, but it ran almost 20 metres.
He's kicked 11 goals for the season. He's been the key to their forward line. So Schwarz from 45 metres out. Leans back and has pushed it left. Through for a minor score. Dickey. Thumping kick. Great kick. The edge of the centre square. James already kicked a goal. His confidence is high. Burgoyne with a touch of class. Run down. Deems are strong chasers. Inside 50. Big pack of players. Woewoedin to Walsh. We'll see that many times today. Hard runners. Rigoni back on the ground. McDonald, he was put under pressure. Franco, the general, sets it up to Kingsley. Wins a lot of the ball, unloads a big bomb. It's a big torpedo. Phoebe running with the flow of the ball. One at a kind and bounce. Didn't get one. Great play. Primus. Now free kick. It's coming back. And the free kick is going to Harwood. Young man from Tasmania. Promising against Carlton a couple of weeks ago when he booted 3 goals. From directly in front, 35 metres out, bangs it through.
French on the ball for the Power. Wilson, Franco and Burgoyne in the centre for the Power. It comes to Powell of Melbourne. High hand pass. McDonald loses in the tackle. French missed with his right-hander. White, he missed as well. Walsh just barrels the ball out. Taken by Wilson. The Power started well today. Wilson's kick. Bit long for Neats. Taken by Primus. The hand pass in. Treadray. He's hit the post from right in front and about 15 metres out.
Gee, Primus has been very important in this first quarter. Just with his bulk and size, we know he's had problems, Bruce, coming back from that knee reconstruction, but he's really a focal point down there at the moment.
They are aiming for him. He is competing a couple of times. He has got his hands to the ball. That occasion gave Treadray an absolute laydown was there, but the post got in the way for Warren.
Yes, look, the gift horse right in the mouth there. Ragoni across to Phoebe. Phoebe over the centre, just short of half forward. Body crash. Down went Francis. Goes to Treadray again. He bounces, he's not too sure. He's got a man out in the clear. Harwood, a mile in the clear. He can have a bounce and come inside 50. This could be a goal to Harwood from 48. He had plenty of distance, but he hooked it for a behind. 1-1 to Mark Harwood.
I saw Warren Treadray having a shot a minute ago, then he's back on the wing. You just wonder with Matthew Primus up in the goal square, perhaps he will get the opportunity to play a bit more forward down the ground and a bit further down the ground and perhaps a little bit more space for Warren Treadray, a little bit less pressure.
Some wasted opportunities for Port Adelaide. Woewoedin already picking up possessions. He's had 8. Powell will carry the ball just outside of 50. Wants to set it up short. Robertson. He's lined up at full forward. He's kicked 15 goals for the season. He's a very bouncy player. Can take a very good mark. Some loose checking. McDonald. 45 metres out.
In the middle 4 for Melbourne. White, Woewoedin, Leoncelli and Uze. The umpire about to bounce it. Port going with a slight breeze, leading by just 7 points now after the goal by Anthony McDonald. Oh, ripped out of the middle. That's good play. Driven forward, and a beautiful mark taken by Treadray. That was Josh Carr getting it down. First gamer. Drafted in 98, Josh Carr, from East Fremantle, and has been playing with Glenelg in the local South Australian competition. Well, Treadray missed from 15. What'll he do from about 48? Oh, he's hit the post, same spot. Well, that's Tatslotto. That's a miracle.
That's not about a miracle, but quite unusual, Drew.
Well, it's harder to hit the post than kick the goal.
You just wonder what it does to a young man's confidence, Gabe. He's hit it twice.
I think he might be
that was a little
relishing,
bit harder.
he might be relishing the fact that he can move around a bit further up the ground with Primus playing that role in the goal square. The Demons are just sharing the ball. Leoncelli, a man from his old Zavs, to centre half forward. They need a crummer. Pounced on by Schofield, just drops the ball wide. He was trying to chip it to Stevens, and Woewoedin closing quickly takes it over.
Woewoedin, plenty of touches, 11 already. That will have to be something Port Adelaide looks at. A couple of weeks ago, Bradley and got over 40 touches. Last week, Mark Prosciutto got 45 touches.
Well, they've looked at it already because Michael Wilson had the job on Woewoedin. They've brought Braden Lyle off the interchange bench, and he's now the shadow for Woewoedin. What a jump that time by White. Just couldn't hang on to the Sharon. Morton, short kick off the ground. Phoebe paddling the ball long in front. White. The Demons under pressure. The chasing and tackling of Port Adelaide has been strong in this first quarter, playing in front. Paxman has been paid the mark. They've just got Melbourne off the pace a bit. Stephen Pitt's been taking off for the Demons, and coming on is Ben Beams. So Melbourne just rearranging its forward line. Paxman. Best and fairest winner last year.
David Schwarz a little bit slow to get up after that one. He's a bit sore.
Well inside 50. Again in front was Barnaby French. Woewoedin puts his head down, cops one high. 12 possessions to Shane Woewoedin. Goes wide, and again a loose player. Beams has just come off the interchange bench from half back, and running hard is Walsh. He won't get there. Daniels does. He'll be keen to take it over the line for a toss back in.
In the first quarter at Football Park, and Port 3-3 lead Melbourne 2-1. Port with a slight wind advantage in this first quarter, and just over 5.5 minutes remaining to quarter time. Franco takes it away for the Power. Approaches centre wing up towards half forward. Good mark by Treadray. And let's hope for the game's sake that Warren Treadray can recapture the form that saw him kick 8 goals against Carlton one day at Optus Oval and take 18 marks. Up to Kingsley, just outside the 50, to the top of the square. Primus! White at the back, playing the role of Rover. He didn't go up and attempt the spoil or the mark. It comes out to Anthony McDonald. Draws a couple, then gives the hand pass away to Phoebe. Kick by Phoebe is good, and Stephen Powell marks in between wing and halfback. White. Kick dropping short to James McDonald, but he got a good bounce. Into Rigoni. Now an open forward line. Robertson, the only Melbourne player inside the 50, but his man beats him to the ball. Well done, Montgomery. Brett Montgomery into Paxton. Back to Monty. Former Bulldog. And players finding a bit of space. Adam Kingsley up to half forward. Treadray again. And this time he gets behind Neats. Treadray on the run. He's hit the post twice. And this time he's nailed it from wide out.
Well, just what Port Adelaide needed. Just what Warren Treadray needed. He didn't have time to think about lining that one up at KB. He just had to kick it. It went through and after 2 posters. He would be breathing a sigh of relief here. The ball just getting over the back.
Well, he's had 8 positions in this first quarter. He's playing against a terrific opponent in David Neats. And this is going to be a very important duel. Now, Paxman has come off and Daniels has come on. I just wonder whether there's an injury there to Paxman. Maybe a blood rule as well. Might have got a whack in the nose.
Yeah, the doc had the gloves on and had the patch-up kit with him.
Great start by Port Adelaide. They lead 27-13, so it's a 14-point lead, 4-3 to 21 to 2-1. Just over 4 minutes left in this first quarter. Rigoni, all bandaged up. This is where they're being good. Kingsley's been terrific across halfback. Montgomery's doing a job in defence as well. Burgoyne with these silky skills to centre half forward. This time, beats with strength. Marks in front of Treadray. So a quick transfer of play finds McDonald across half back. Just wobbles the ball down, looking for Bruce. The big fist came from Bishop, keen to impress against his old club. Thought he may have kept the ball alive, stepped over the line. Just the one win this season to Port Adelaide. So disappointing last week after leading by 7 goals. Can they redeem themselves against the Demons, who have been the big improvers this year? Phoebe had to keep the ball alive. Franco, just a touch of the fumbles, slides back over the line.
Just stats inside 50. Port Adelaide up to 15, Melbourne 8, but 8 of those for Port Adelaide have been in about the last 7 or 8 minutes, so they've started to exert their dominance here.
White beats French in the ruck. The hand pass away, and on the run is Whelan inside the 50. Oh, but no mark. It comes down to Schwarz. The hand pass to Powell. Wobbles a kick. It's away to the left and through for a minor score.
It's been handy in this first quarter, Stephen Powell. He's had 9 possessions.
So Fabian Francis to kick in. Kicks to himself, gains some ground. Goes to the centre square. What a kick. Stevens. It's wide open here if he can get it across to Lyle, who started the game on the bench. Braden Lyle. He can have another bounce if he likes. Nobody coming to him. 53 out. Primus with the height in the goal square. Works it well. Gets it back to the man in front. Corns. Sprays it wide off the left. And it's out in the forward pocket.
It's been a very interesting tactic today with Port Adelaide. Primus not really moving from the goal square.
He didn't look like leading, did he?
No, and on many occasions, not even trying to attempt with two hands. He's just putting the one hand up so he can control the ball to make certain that Melbourne defenders are not taking the mark. And then with his big frame pushing the ball to the front. Here's Primus again looking for Morton. Good play by Walsh, got his body on line. Lyle wants a free kick against McDonald. It's a ball just 25 metres out from goal. I mean, he's such a big man, Primus. He gives him a target.
It's not just height. There is plenty of bulk there. And he is trying to give his players who are front and square right there for him first chance. Just Chad Corns couldn't quite get clear on that last occasion.
And we can see Braden Lyle there showing plenty of attention to Shane Woewoedin. He's had it 12 times and taken 5 marks in this first quarter. Harwood all tied up that time by Whelan. Like the enthusiasm of Port Adelaide today. Plenty of players patting each other on the back, lifting their teammate up off the ground. So chances of the time clock ticks away. Just over 2 minutes left. Primus with strength. Caught that time by Ingerson. Just virtually shoveled the ball out. And there's Primus again tackling. Lyle falls on top of the ball.
Stephen Packman patched up. He'll be okay to come back on. I don't know how you breathe through all that gauze up your hooter, but, well, good luck. Well, a chance here for Port. They lead 4-3 to 2-2. Primus doing a top job. Corns taken to ground. He's holding it, says the umpire. Head on the fingertip all the way down.
It's a good tackle.
James McDonald. The hand pass away to Gergie. Out towards half-back flank. French. Port's advantages more than the breeze, so they've done well in the first quarter. Stevens, no whistle on the play. He had to be holding it, or was holding the man. It was neither. Walsh floats a hand pass, overrun by Powell. Kingsley spins through the pack. Kick by Kingsley. Corns out of position. Got a magnificent mark getting back there in defence to Matthew Whelan, playing just his 5th game.
To Stephen Phoebe, goes wide, finds White lurking. Tried to drill it to beams, just brushed aside that time by Wilson, who started the game on Woewoedin. Again, the high fly was Whelan. Plenty of support. Phoebe, the veteran, over 200 games to meets. Plenty of work at centre half back, and he's got his hands full also on Treadway. Kicks the ball back. There was courage taken by Kingsley. Should have been paid a free kick. Certainly it was high. Franco grabs his head and then just bursts away and pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. The high flyer was Harwood. Woewoedin, clean hands to Whelan, to Powell, a dangerous player, drills it. He was looking for Leon Challey, under a fair bit of pressure. They'll come away. Josh Carr, and now Fabian Francis. Back towards centre half back is a dangerous kick, and Woewoedin, what a season he's having. And quickly finds Stephen Powell. Well, he's a running machine at the moment, isn't he, Shane Woewoedin?
Just as his second time with the body, when the body work came in, he was too clever, too strong for his opponent. That time was Lyle. Earlier in the game it was Wilson, but he is getting plenty of it.
What a success story. Just packed up his bags, came across from Western Australia, asked to have a tryout with the Demons. Finally got a crack at it. He's played every game since '97. He's never been out of the side. And now enjoying his best ever season. Stephen Powell, the ex-Bulldog, an important kick. He's kicked 6 goals for the season from 48 metres. Powell. The roar will tell us he has missed.
He's had 2 misses in the first quarter. Well, points in the opening term to Port, who desperately need this win here today. 4-3 to 2-3. And Mark Williams would be G'd up, I reckon, by the performance of his team in that first quarter. And Warren Treadway was a real star. He had 8 possessions and took 2 marks. And he's missed by about 2 centimetres from kicking 3 goals straight. He kicked 1 and 2 posters. At quarter time, it's 4-3-27, 2-3-15. Well, it wasn't a huge first quarter, 4-3, a couple of posters by Warren Treadway, but the highest first quarter by Port against Melbourne. Quite incredible, really.
Well, it's a surprise.
That should tell you about the high-scoring games these two clubs had.
They've played a few scraps, haven't they? Let's have a look at the stats in the first quarter.
Well, you can see Melbourne there. It's actually had it 91 times. But Port Adelaide, maybe a slight breeze, Abba, but times I've been here to Football Park, sometimes the breeze doesn't really play an impact on the result.
Well, I don't think so. We saw Melbourne go forward pretty easily the couple of times they did. They just seemed to be more efficient when on the occasions they did go forward. Port Adelaide had it around the half-forward line a lot of times, a lot of possessions. The occasions they did go quickly forward was when they scored, and as we mentioned, Warren Treadray, a couple of posters, suddenly it could have been 4 goals instead of 2, and they would certainly have a big advantage with 2 goals at this stage of the game, and Melbourne got a slight breeze to go in this quarter.
Well, the stats showed more marks, more handballs, more possessions to Melbourne.
Most of them do Woewoedin.
Yeah, and yet Port got it inside the 50, 19-11. Well, Woewoedin was absolutely sensational, and just continues on his blistering form for the season.
Well, he's had 6 and 8, 6 kicks, 8 handballs, 6 marks a goal, but he's also got 2 centre clearances and 2 hard gets, so he's having a fair day out so far.
It was interesting in the first quarter. I noticed that Josh Carr, the first gamer, was picking up Adem. Now, Uze has been magnificent for getting Melbourne inside the attacking 50. Last week, he drilled it in 9 times in their big win last week against the Eagles. So to put a first gamer on a bloke who's a midfielder like that, big call.
Also saw Jeff White get away. Matthew Promise was up in the goal square. Barnaby French was covering at centre-half back while Steve Paxman got fixed up. And Jeff White was basically running around and doing what he liked for a while there.
There's Barnaby to go up against Jeff White. And in the foreground, see here on the wing, that's Uze and the first gamer, Josh Carr, and they're going shoulder to shoulder. And the first gamer really taking it up to Adem. White wins in the middle. Powell runs onto it. Melbourne have the breeze this quarter. Kicked by Powell off the left. Open goal square. Just missed.
We saw Uze and Carr come off that wing. And Carr just ran with him. Didn't even worry about where the ball was. Just kept following and ended up tripping over. Uze tripped over. So Uze not getting too much latitude from young Carr.
Stephen Powell, 3 behind so far.
Fabian Francis goes short. Finds Montgomery. That's a pretty interesting move. We've known Montgomery he was with the Western Bulldogs mainly as a full, but playing in defence today. Paxman, all patched up, kicks the ball wide. Been a great duel so far. Treadray and Neitz. James has already kicked a goal to Treadray, who drills it and finds Harwood. Looking quite sharp on the forward line with Corns down there and Primus, also Treadray and Harwood. They've got a bit of marking power.
He's kicking straight into what little win. We reckon it's worth about 2 goals, but he will be kicking straight into it. So from about 53, we'll test him.
Well, he's kicked 8 goals for the season. Young man from Triabunna in Tasmania to the square. Big pack of players. Primus just sees the ball over the line for Abe Hine.
I knew it wouldn't take long for the Triabunna to get a run. You love that place, don't you?
Well, I've been down to Triabunna, just a spot on the map down there in Tasmania. He'd be the pride of Triabunna.
Oh.
Demons find Rigoni. They come forward. Chance now for Josh Carr. Has the ball kicked out of his hands that time by Uze. Kingsley just wobbles the ball back to Wilson. He's won a fair bit of the ball himself.
Keep going, Josh. There he goes.
And Josh Carr playing his first game, and it's a beautiful kick. And he finds Burgoyne. And there's a loose player out wide. All the Melbourne players ran back to the goal square. So James has already kicked a goal, unloads, stands and delivers. Primus in front. He's I thought he had it. He appealed for it. He's got his hands on the ball, but he just can't get enough purchase.
Also, Matthew Primus, acting captain for Port Adelaide. A little word with the umpires during the quarter-time break.
Yes. And covering as much ground today as about a big handkerchief. Walsh from the defensive 50 up towards centre wing. Oh, excellent mark. And Treadray is back in town. Going really well today. Across the ground he goes to Wilson. Can't quite mark but follows up. Corns. He kept it. He balked that one to Barnaby French. Spills here to Morton, but the whistle's gone. Oh, Morton was cruising into an open goal.
His eyes lit up. He was gone.
And the free kick goes to Ingerson. The crowd still hooting. Away to Leoncelli. He's kicked towards centre wing. Gurgi takes the mark. Dashes away from Kingsley. Up towards attacking 50. In the back. Play on, says the umpire. It comes to Schwarz. The hand pass. And the shot for goal by McDonald is Beams. He's got it.
Ben Beams came off the rookie list in '99. Just a young man still making his way in the game. Just his second goal for the season, playing his 15th game. Very important one to Melbourne. Rigoni wins the tough ball. Rigoni kicks the ball wide. There's a chance for Woewoedin. Now maybe Kingsley's got the job on Woewoedin. Now back to McDonald, who finds Bruce. Very athletic. He's an exciting prospect. He's been one of the young guns who have come through for Melbourne this year. And there's the big hands and the big grab taken by Schwarz. Well, such an important player to Melbourne. David Neitz has really done the job for the Demons this year, playing at centre-half back, and Schwarz at centre-half forward. Just a tower of strength. Just come off his best season last year, winning the best and fairest. And at 2 goals in a minute to Melbourne will be pretty handy. Schwarz directly in front. Hammers it home.
Yeah, Steve Paxman is a pretty dour defender, but just lacks a little bit perhaps in height and weight for a key position, especially against someone like David Schwarz. And we saw that mark there. Schwarz had the front position. The Melbourne ball came in, worked his way in the front position. Steve Paxman just a little bit behind, but the arms were too long on Schwarz. The punch from behind, not quite there, and he made sure from around about 20 metres out. And suddenly it's 4 goals each.
Well, they've just about erased the 12-point deficit at quarter time. Pretty early on in this second quarter. Melbourne have really finished games off this year. So Port needed a good start. And probably, perhaps, we might find out they needed a bigger break. Real scrap, and the umpire will ball it up again. Port players waiting their chance on the bench. A lot of players around this ball up. Hardly room for the umpire to get a bounce in. White wins, but straight to the opposition. Burgoyne showed the opposition the ball. Now to the 50. Well, Treadray, absolutely sensational. He's covering them up. Just keeps on getting it. 4 marks now. To the goal square. Primus. A target again. It comes to the... Oh, good tackle, Harwood. That's holding the ball. Free kick, Harwood. Gergic should have given it the first time, and now he knows it. Way too slow. Well, Harwood kicked 1 in the first quarter. And Triabunna's favourite son lines up for his second. Only 20 metres from goal. Port extend their lead to 7.
Port by 7 points. The roar goes around Football Park. They're sensing that Port power just might cause an upset today. Leoncelli, high ball still inside the centre square. Woewoedin thumps the ball forward, back towards centre half forward. Chance for Burgoyne, had it and lost it. Just weaving his way out of trouble with Stevens. Bishop, keen to play well against his old side. Williams from the point of the square now. A free kick is coming back. It's going to Melbourne. Uze is looking for 50. The ball wasn't returned in the correct manner. And this man, Woewoedin, well, they should be able to spot him. He's got blonde hair.
I think that free kick was indicated there was an illegal shepherd or off the ball that got Uze the free kick. And suddenly Woewoedin's got it. What's he up to? 16th possession, so
in 7 marks. And look at this. They can raffle it. Bingo. McDonald from 25 metres out kicks a goal. Well, he's got 2, and that was pretty slack marking.
That was
Port Adelaide.
It wasn't exactly that Melbourne went to the forward line very quickly, KB. Uze had the ball for a good 15 seconds. Woewoedin had it for probably 20 seconds, and there was 2 Melbourne players out the side. One of them was McDonald, and you see there's 2. Let's have a ruffle. There's not a player within 20 metres. Left foot. Very disappointing if you're a Port defender. If you're a Melbourne supporter, suddenly there's just 1 point back in the game.
Five to 5 goals 4. White wins in the middle. Rigoni to Leoncelli. Bruce. Good pick-up on the bounce. Oh, great skills. Into McDonald, who's kicked a couple. Across the half-forward line. Past Uzaid goes. He had a slight stumble. Finished up with the footy and might kick a goal. Adem Uzaid to put the D's in front. But he hooked the kick and it bounces out of bounds. No score. Port still lead by a point.
That was a very poor kick by Adem Uzaid.
Disappointing.
Stevens off the ground and Donald Dickey comes on for his first run. It was Stevens who gave away the free kick that set up Melbourne's last goal.
So a chance for the Demons. Going to ground was McDonald. He may have caught one in the back from Franco. Ball up.
Uzaid's disappointing kick could have been, he actually found himself away from Carr for a change.
Josh Carr playing his first game. Got the job of shadowing Adem Uzaid. Kingsley wins a lot of the ball. Just tumbles the ball back. McDonald backtracks, concedes ground. I thought he may have stepped over the line. Leon Chally again retreats back to White, to Powell, combines well. He's been a damaging player. Chance for Uzaid. He's got it. Well, he's back to his best form back in '98 when he was second in their best and fairest. Runs with the ball and playing more on the wing. It's made him a dangerous player this year. He's hit 7 goals for the season. Adem Uzaid, plenty of goal space. 30 metres out. Pops it through. Demons in front.
Uzaid, the goal kicker, is down here in the foreground on the wing. Josh Carr, the first gamer, is going to go even harder at him, I reckon, because he just conceded his first goal in AFL football. Oh, Woewoedin palms the ball out to Powell. His kick inside the 50. Bruce is crunched down. Here comes Uzaid again off the ground. Flying hack at it, out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in. David Schwarz saying, here I am. I want it right here, laces out.
KB, just a couple of incidents you perhaps wonder about Port Adelaide, their mental fitness at the moment. The two Melbourne forwards there all by themselves a couple of minutes ago, and just a couple of the tackles, just the pressure's not right at the body. The Melbourne players getting away too easily, getting the handball away.
Robertson with a big leap at it. Desperation in defence. Well, luckily they come out of it, and Kingsley marks at centre half back. Burgoyne won't keep that in. Guy Rigoni patched up in the first quarter. We've seen Stephen Paxman off with the blood rule. His nose was patched up.
Michael Wilson getting another shot with Shane Woewoedin.
D's lead by 5 points. Second quarter at Football Park. Wide over the top, but it's no good. Franco's got very high kick, not much penetration. He's saying to Treadray, mark that play fair. And it was a great effort. He didn't play the mark, but he played the free kick. Treadray had to beat 2 of them. Through the free. Wide for Harwood. Good hands. Takes it outside of the 50. Into Morton. Harwood gets it back. Good play. Corns.
Well, he was magnificent in Harwood because he showed plenty of pace. He's pretty quick, Bruce.
Yeah, he came out, hit that ball well, was confident, gave it off. Swapped handballs with Danny Morton.
Well, Barnaby French has been rucking for a quarter and a half. He goes to the bench for a rest. And Stewie Dew on the ground for Port. As Chad Corns lines up to put the power back in front. Into the breeze. 50 out. A centimetre short. Harwood. Don't tell me. Just offline.
That would have been a miracle throw. I thought he just jammed it on the right boot. It went high. It went wide, unfortunately, for Port Adelaide. But Mark Harwood certainly giving Port Adelaide something down there in the forward line.
Stuart Dew has come onto the field. He's often to be like he's a player who was going to be top class for Port. He's always threatened. He's a beautiful kick. Might get his chance again today. Franco goes wide. They can set it up. Wilson inside the centre square, drills it. He's looking for Dew. Too much carry on the ball. Morton just gets in the back of Walsh. Here's a chance for Dew. Take 2, kicks it out. Primus just couldn't quite make ground. Woewoedin with those quick hands, put Ingerson under a lot of pressure. Primus again, just with strength. Rogers to Jew, kick to goal.
Stuart Dew just on the ground, kicks a goal to put Port back in front. They lead by 2. And this could be a crucial 10 or so minutes of the game with Primus in the ruck and French off the ground, but Jeff White is still there and strong. Primus has been under a fitness cloud coming in, but what the first thing he did was partly set up the goal to Dew with a tackle and a hand pass. Here he is, number 2, with the heavy knee brace on after last year's knee reconstruction. He wins in ruck, down to Franco. Put him on the ball all day. Gee, it's a big pack. Oh, courage shown then. Thought that to be a free kick in there somewhere. And now the umpire comes in and is going to ball it up.
Well, I was here the night when young Danny Morton injured himself out here, around about centre-half forward, left the screen. When he injured his neck and broke a bone in his neck, he showed a lot of courage that night. And again then, puts his eyes on the ball.
And would be the smallest man on the park, KB.
Corns one in ruck. Ball slips to the back. Here he is again, Woewoedin. Great tackle by Burgoyne. Wowie was going nowhere that time. Port have it. An important turnover. The kick goes wide. And have a look at this. Plenty of space for Fabian Francis. He approaches the 50. Tough shot from there. He puts it to the top of the square. Treadray caught behind. And the mark taken by Neitz.
He's had his hands full today. Phoebe just wobbles the kick. It's a shocker. Sets it up. Francis hits the ball hard. Rockets the ball to Franco to Francis. 50 metres out again. And a shocking kick. Under pressure taken by Neitz. The Demons on the rebound. Jeff White across half back. Screaming for the ball is McDonald. Says, give it to me. I want to carry it. A casual bounce. Time for think music. The set up for it's a poor kick. Taken by Primus.
Oh, stubbed his toe.
And that was shocking play. Woewoedin goes short and finds Beams. So Primus was intent on directing traffic, not concentrating enough on kicking the ball. Instead of getting back off the mark, kicked it on the back foot and landed in the arms of Woewoedin, who quickly set it up to Ben Beams, who's kicked a goal. He started on the interchange bench.
That was about the 4th kick in a minute that went straight to the opposition, KB. Except I think this one could well be the most expensive.
Beams, just in his 2nd season, 35 metres out. Pushed it wide and through for a minor score. So a wasted opportunity for the Demons.
Just get the feeling that Port Adelaide have responded. Melbourne got a few goals, got back to level, actually got their nose in front. Port Adelaide have just lifted a cog with that last goal.
6-6 to 6 goals 5. Lyle still in the back pocket. Over half back he goes. Oh, the climber at the back. Not quite the mark. Towed on by Franco. The ball stayed in somehow. Is the whistle gone? Franco's not too sure. It's got to come back. It's a Port.
It's always a giveaway when you're looking over your shoulder, but luck's a fortune, it goes to Wilson.
Into Lyle. Port going all right, but they might need a break at 3/4 time against this Melbourne side, who haven't lost the last quarter this year. McDonald. Big climb by Wilson to punch. Goes to Corns. Back it comes to Francis. Inside the 50. Chance here for Port. Dew. Worked it well. The outside of his hand. Burgoyne goes to ground. Ragoni's hand pass. Knocked down. And the umpire will ball it up. Well, a real contest. And, well, I know Mark Williams said he was going to work him until he died this week. And maybe in the last 2 weeks they've been flogged to death, but they've come out firing today.
Great to see Stuart Dew's desperation. I think he knows that he's playing for his football life at the moment.
Well, he's got a lot of talent. Just over 7 minutes left in this 2nd quarter. Beams skipped the goal. Just missed one a few moments ago. Going to ground was Leon Challey. Just lost his footing. Kingsley. Transfer of play. Woewoedin. Good grab by Schofield. And again, they'll run hard. Paxman comes down from centre half back. It opens up for Port Power. Goes short and finds Burgoyne. He's a good 70 metres out. The lead is on, out in front. Looking for Harwood. Well in front that time of Gurgic. Franco, a touch of the fumbles. McDonald does well. The consummate defender. Banged the ball off the ground. Leon Challey. Feign the hand pass. Under pressure again. Belts the ball back towards centre wing. Here comes Schwarz. clumped into the back that time of Montgomery. Primus backtracks to Lyle, who goes short, pinpointed to Kingsley, who's squeezed up on the line, has got it. Centre wing. Well, there's a big buzz around Football Park. Poor Powell's come to play. Fabian Francis. On centre wing. Very crowded forward line now, so he goes short. Second grab, Primus has got it. He played on. It was silly play. Corns bowled over the line, but too high.
I think Primus had to give the hand pass because Wheatley had a good piece of him.
Well, Fabian Francis would be the best kick in the Port Adelaide team. From where he was, he could have certainly got inside 50. To worry about a short pass the boundary then is not the best option.
They were looking for Treadray, but over the top comes Simmons. Just a young man as well, just playing his 13th game. Can do some good work coming off the bench. Powell in the back half. To Simmons. Kicks the ball wide. Primus. Just too much carry on the ball. Couldn't quite get it. And coming over the top was young Whelan. So the Demons under pressure. Woewoedin, who's been magnificent. Montgomery across half back. Belts the ball wide. Walsh is quick. He'll close quickly on Carr, who overruns the ball. Powell lends a hand. Kicks it off the ground. McDonald. They've got the numbers, Melbourne. Just a matter of making the right decision. Pumps the ball back. Rigoni. Pointed to the square. Woewoedin again. He's got it. What a game he's playing. He has really stepped up this year to being an absolute star.
He had an absolutely blinder of a first quarter. The second quarter, Port Adelaide have managed to keep his stats down, but he still is damaging, and they really haven't found a cure for him just yet.
Well, he's had 3 opponents so far. He's had it 20 times. He's taken 9 marks. He's also kicked a goal in the first quarter. So Rigoni's coming off and McDonald coming on. James McDonald. His brother Anthony's booted 2 goals.
Both coaches have used the bench. I think all the interchange players are on the field at the moment. I think all 8.
Demons trail by 1 point, 42 to 41. Just over 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Woewoedin, the best midfield players in the competition this season. He's been magnificent today. Can he finish it with a goal? He hammers it home.
Nick Stevens back on the ground for the Power, replacing Kingsley, former best and fairest winner. Adem Kingsley's had 11 kicks, 4 marks, but Woewoedin kicking the goal. There'll be a secondary ball up near the centre circle.
Well, so far he's had 3 opponents, Kingsley, Lyle and Wilson.
I think Wilson's had a couple of goes.
White can jump, but he interfered. He used his hand on the shoulder, as sometimes does in marking contests. Through Primus it goes. Good running by Schofield, who came off the bench and keen to make the most of his game time. Kicked by Schofield once again offline, and a Port kick straight to the opposition, and the mark taken by Whelan. Melbourne out of trouble towards the outer side. Anthony McDonald round the boundary line for Powell. Oh, it sits, it closes the gap. In comes Franco. Franco's kick to centre half forward. James underneath it. Good mark, Burgoyne. No, play on. Schofield works hard at ground level, but it spills to Rigoni, to Leoncelli. Woewoedin again. A lot of height on the kick. Schwarz wrestling. He comes up with the mark.
That was a terrific mark. He was pushing and shoving. It was a test of strength, and then still had enough balance to take the mark.
Kicked a goal early this quarter.
There's 3 Port Adelaide defenders around him. In the end, he was the one on the ground with the ball in his arms. 3 Port Adelaide players stood by and watched.
Right in front, 40 metres out. Got away to the right a bit, but gets his second.
He's 13 goals for the season now, and he's doing the job down in the goal square. And all of a sudden, just a little break to Melbourne, 53 to 42.
Wasn't a great kick for the forwards, this. plenty of height, not all much penetration. Defenders came from everywhere, and Schwarz, well, he was odds against to take that. That was a beauty.
Western Ferris winner last year, David Schwarz. Demons by 11 points. 2.5 minutes left in this second quarter. Simmons in the ruck. He's a high leaper like Jeff White. Franco, the tackler, ties up Rigoni. Crunched to the ground by Primus.
Good signs for Melbourne at the moment, especially with their second halves this year have been absolutely fantastic. So they've got their nose in front at the moment.
Well, there's been a suggestion that they're the fittest side in the competition. They've had a big change during their pre-season in terms of their build-up. It seems to be working. Donald Dickey trying to hit the ball hard was James McDonald. Overrunning it was his brother and Anthony. Burgoyne through the centre square to Primus. It was caught in two minds. Burgoyne pumps the ball deep inside 50. Ingerson read it well. He's caught.
That's holding the ball.
Certainly was holding the ball, but take two because Gurgic has been pinged again. Ingerson didn't get rid of the ball by hand or by foot. In fact, the ball fell out of his hand. So, in fact, this would be a throw. There it goes. No handball. But picked up second time around, away with it. Take two.
It's a terrible feeling, KB, when you've got one hand pinned and the ball's in the other. There's nothing you can do with it.
Franco directly in front. It's a poor kick. Wasted opportunity. Puts it through for a behind.
Not a big crowd here today at Football Park. The die-hard Port fans have stuck by the side, who have won just one game in 7, 15th on the ladder. Somehow they managed to win against Brisbane. Nobody tipped them to win. So maybe they can manage one against Melbourne, who came into this game 5th on the ladder. Demons working it down the outer side. Walsh. But Treadray takes yet another mark. Melbourne won't mind if he gets plenty of ball back near centre wing.
6 marks.
In short he goes. Morton. Now they need the defenders to leave their men and come up and support. And as soon as you turn it over like this, it could be costly. Burgoyne. Well, McDonald gets it away to Gurgic. Up towards the forward 50. Bruce. He was on the supplementary list for a couple of years before finally being drafted. Cameron Bruce out wide. Here's the Ox again. 45 metres out. And will he give it off or go for his third goal of the quarter? Melbourne lead by 10 points. 8-5 to 6 goals 7. He's kicked 2 goals 1. David Schwarz. It's a tough one. This will test him. Gee, looks
great
good
kick.
effort. Great goal.
That's his third goal for the quarter, and he really has split. I just noticed Matthew Bishop has gone on to Schwarz now. Steve Paxman is off him. Just see the ball up here, the turnover in the centre of the ground there. Paxman's come further up the ground. Melbourne turn around. He's got about 2 metres on Bishop. That's all he needs. The kick was perfect, and he kicked from around about probably 50 metres right in the line there. You said it to test him, but absolutely no problems at all with that one. Third goal for the quarter for Schwarz.
7-goal quarter to Melbourne. And a 28-point turnaround. They trailed by 12 points at quarter time. They now lead by 16. And that man, David Schwarz, with 3 goals in the second quarter, has been the star at full forward.
It's a question mark over Matthew Primus's fitness before the game. Just he was walking back to the goal square then when Schwarz was having a kick, which is not a good sign. Just before half-time, he's only been used sparingly in the ruck, but question mark still there.
Well, a very interesting first half with Melbourne getting on top late in that second quarter, mainly through that man on screen, Shane Woewoedin, who has been simply magnificent. He's had 3 opponents. He's carved everyone up today in a great on-ball role. He's had 21 possessions and 9 marks. And Adem on screen, also a dangerous player coming off the wing. And David Schwarz with those 3 goals, and particularly that late goal with just 18 seconds to go into the second quarter, has set up a very handy 16-point lead.
Well, we might look back on this game and say, well, Port didn't make the most of the breeze in the first quarter when they kicked just 4 goals 3. When Treadray hit the post a couple of times, Really, their play in the first quarter warranted more than a 12-point lead. But they're up against it now. The Melbourne side have finished off every game. And to be trailing by 16 at half-time is not where Port needed to be at the stage, Abba. But they're showing great endeavour. With a breeze in the third quarter, they have a big one. They can get right back in this. But at half-time, it's 59-43.
Port Adelaide are playing Melbourne over at Football Park in South Australia. Todd Viney, take us through the first half highlights.
Yeah, well, the first quarter was some very hard clashes, and here is a couple of examples of that. Firstly, James McDonald does a bit of a backflip, lucky not to break his neck. Fabian Francis gives a quick kick out, and Shane Woewoedin, who's been fantastic, puts his body right on the line and goes back and kicks goal. Josh Franco's been very good. Port Adelaide played some very direct and quick football through the midfield, and Fabian Francis kicks the ball into an open forward line, gets a very strong contest from Matty Primus, and Chad Corns snaps a goal. Port Adelaide have been pretty good out of the centre bounce, even though Jeff White's got his hand on the ball a fair bit. Port Adelaide have been able to clear the ball, and young Josh Carr gets the ball here and hits Treadway on a fast lead out from full forward, which is classic football. Unfortunately for Port Adelaide, though, goes back and hits the post for the second time in that quarter, which was very costly. But David Neitz here, unfortunately, gets tipped under the ball for the Melbourne Football Club by Treadway. Comes the ball pretty well for a big fella. From about 45 metres on the run, goes back and kicks a really nice goal for the Port Adelaide team. Doesn't hit the post.
Had to be goal side then, didn't he, Todd?
Had to be goal side. Matty Rillen taking a real brave mark there for the Melbourne Footy Club, and David Schwarz took a strong mark here and went back and kicked the goal, which kept the Melbourne team in the hunt. Some good pressure by Matty Primus here. He hasn't had too many kicks, but by God, he's been given a real good contest. And Stuart Dew, who's been a good player, kicked a very good goal.
And the Adelaide viewers will be taking a replay of that game, so if you don't wish to see the score, please turn away.
Why did you do it? Why did you do that thing to me?
Okay, some interesting scores in the first half there, boys. And we'll be back with game day post-match for the Sydney and Brisbane viewers with the highlights of all three games and the AFL ladder.
Monday Night Football with a
Port Adelaide against Melbourne, and Demons at half-time leading by 16 points. And the Port regrouping for the second half. They know how hard Melbourne come in the second half of games, so they'll need to take advantage of this breeze in the third quarter. And on past performances, you'd reckon Port might need to be leading by about 4 goals at three-quarter time. So it's going to need to be a big third quarter, Abba.
On past performances, they were leading by 7 last week, and that wasn't enough. So it will need to be a big quarter for Port Adelaide. Just in that quarter, Matthew Primus, when he did come away from the goal square, Warren Treadway got plenty of the ball around forward, but they lacked somewhere to aim for. It was Corns and Harwood up there, but they were good for leading, good for a couple of goals, but it wasn't their primary target. Melbourne, well, it was a 5-goal turnaround that quarter. All credit to them in the second quarter. They took the game away. They certainly split it open, and we know how well they finished in the second half. So statistically, Port Adelaide got their backs up against the wall at the moment.
Yes, well, even in their losses this year, Melbourne have lost by 2 points to Richmond, 12 points to Sydney, and 25 points to Geelong. And even then, they won every last quarter.
Schofield on the bench along with Bishop and Corns and Morton for Port Adelaide.
Got Warren Treadway heading for the goal square, along with Matthew Primus.
Well, Barnaby French sat out the last 15 minutes of the second quarter and the half-time break, so he's refreshed to go on the ball in the ruck.
And young Josh Carr, first game, he is basically Shane Woewoedin's shadow, it looks like at the moment. So first game, Woewoedin's got 20 touches up to half-time.
The umpire hardly had room to get in and bounce the ball around the two who are going shoulder to shoulder. Wide up high, it comes to Kingsley, who was benched in the second quarter. Down goes French in a good tackle. Powell the tackler, and the umpire will ball it up once again. Guy Rigoni, who hurt his eye in the first, or just above the eye in the first quarter, and was taped up.
Green, Simmons and Pitt also on the interchange bench.
Haven't seen too much of Stephen Pitt, who's returning to AFL football for the first time in 4 years. Here they go, the D's. McDonald right in front. Good kick. It's his third.
I've already spoken about Melbourne. The second half, that was probably as good a start as you could. Ball just bogged down on the half-forward line. They are kicking into probably what looks like probably a 3-goal win that is favouring Port Adelaide at the moment. But McDonald there, just on his left foot, got clear and nailed that from around about 40 metres out. A good start for Melbourne in the second half.
Well, that's been their strength this year. A number of players who have just improved from last year. Anthony McDonald is one with his 3 goals. We know that Shane Woewoedin's always been a handy player, but he's taken on star status the way that he's played. He's got his 4th opponent at the moment, White, the big jumper. Woewoedin, speak of the devil. Short kick out of the centre. Needing to take control of the ball. Beams goes to ground. Good tackle on Franco. Touch of the fumbles there by Stevens. Whelan couldn't quite get away with the ball. In fact, make that Wheatley, and Montgomery with nearly a fresh air shot. Barnaby French to Kingsley. So the Port Power pumped the ball back towards the edge of the centre square. White. Some run out of defence. The confidence is high now with Melbourne's. Phoebe just pinpoints it and finds Robertson. Too far out the score. 2 kicks from goal. Robertson, a bouncy player. Kicks the ball high in. Bruce was a high flyer. Taken away by Franco. Now, he got caught in 2 minds there with the call of the umpire. Chips it in short at centre-half back to Kingsley. Looking for Treadrake. He's been very good today because he's got a good opponent in Neats. Gives it across to Donald Dickey, who just thumps the ball back. Trying to take a one-hander was Carr. Ripped out of his arms that time and taken away. Good strong play by Whelan. Goes wide for Melbourne on the burst. Uze had Carr as his opponent in the first half. Just overruns the ball. And Daniels heads for the line. And happy to see it just trickle over in front of Whelan. And also on the ground, Stewie Jew came on late in that second quarter and kicked a goal for Port Power. So a boundary throw in on the half-forward flank. Barnaby French, bit strong, some pushing and shoving down to Jew, all wrapped up in the tackle. Again, they'll pile on top and a ball up. And guess who's on the bottom of the pack? Shane Woewoedin.
Guess who's on top of him?
Josh Carr.
Could be an education for the young man in his first game. Nice mention, he has picked him up since half-time, so those 20 touches were the result of someone else trying to pick him up in the first half.
All worked out by Port. James, through Franco it goes. Burgoyne, they're losing ground in possession. Burgoyne skillful. The kick inside 50. Harwood pushed off it before the ball arrived. No whistle. McDonald has kicked 3 goals. Here he is deep in defence. He's lost it. Harwood comes in to win possession. Ball, say the crowd. No free kick. Gergic clears, but he doesn't clear. Ball knocked down. Comes to Woewoedin. And now they're out of trouble. The hand pass out of bounds will do Melbourne at that stage. They're under the pump. And the Port crowd not happy. It was a line ball. It could well have been holding the ball right in front.
It's a great chase by Josh Carr. I keep mentioning him. He was the first gamer, but he's certainly amongst it.
White beats French. Ball sits up nicely for Kingsley. Chance here for Port. They need to get something out of this. Primus couldn't take the mark. It comes down to Uze. Woewoedin again goes wide. Ball on the bounce to Whelan. Whelan, West Virginia. Up towards half forward, or centre wing, and the mark taken by Beams. Melbourne players getting clear and they're going in short. Now Andrew Leoncelli. Another short kick. This is good movement of the ball and a big chance for Wheatley. He approaches the 50. Wheatley goes bang into the breeze. A magnificent kick.
Demons by 28 points. Great goal by Wheatley. Young man from the Preston Knights. Just his 3rd game. And all of a sudden these young players are standing up for Melbourne. Franco to the edge of the centre square and finds Stevens. One of their young guns. Keen to get the ball moving quickly. It was silly play. Beams closed quickly. He is super quick. Finally forced over the line by Roger James. So Melbourne have been so good this year in the second half. Of all their games, have bounced out of the blocks. Kicked the first 2 goals of this 3rd quarter. Barnaby French and White. Give the points to French. Franco trying to win some hard balls in close. Jew under pressure. Goes to ground from Whelan. Leoncelli pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Big fist away. Beats Powell over the line for a toss back in. 11-5, 71 Melbourne. Port Adelaide 6-7-43.
You mentioned Woewoedin statistics already, but Powell just beaten over the line by the ball length. He's got 14 kicks already as well, and four handballs, so amongst the stats as well.
And been picked up by Michael Wilson. Leon Challey just paddles the ball along. Stevens got into his back. Again, a boundary throw in.
KB, the local paper's done a bit of homework for us today, and this reads badly for Port at this stage because Melbourne's second halves this year have been plus 193 points, more than their opposition, and Port are minus 149.
Well, they've opened magnificently with 2 quick goals. James, can Port Power turn it around? Treadray was held. No free kick. He needed a kind bounce. He got an ugly one. Chance for Schofield to bang one through.
Well, a much-needed goal for Port by Jared Schofield. That's their first of this second half. They are running with the breeze in this third term. French beats White. Comes to McDonald, who's been good with Woewoedin. Woewoedin ducks a tackle and lucky to get away with it. Oh, Melbourne's hand pass is knocked down in midfield. James, high ball, inside the 50. Treadray punches. Schofield tries to get onto it. Held back. Schofield free right in front. Jared Schofield a chance to kick his second in a minute. And he'll be kicking from about 40 metres out. So going through the golfer's routine. And he wants to make sure he kicks this. He can level it up at 2 goals each in this third quarter if he can manage it. No problem.
No problem at all for Jared Schofield. He is a good finisher. That's what he's there for. He's there to kick the goals. And well, he started on the bench and has spent a fair bit of time on and off the ground for Port Adelaide this year. But a couple of goals early in the third quarter. Just what they need. And a pretty ugly attempt there. And Schofield gets the free kick. Set shot. Straight through.
Port Adelaide won't go away.
Centre clearances KB Melbourne 13, Port 2. Woewoedin's got 4 of those, so
they bring it back to a 16-point ball game. And the big chant goes around the ground at Football Park. Stevens just trying to pump up the tide of Port Adelaide. Kicks the ball wide, looking for James. Made ground, traps it on centre wing to the half-forward line. It's 1 against 2. Treadray. Difficult to beat. Neats to Walsh. Been handy all year, loves to beat an opponent, loves to set it up, takes them on. Plenty of run from Walsh. Goes short, finds Uze. Still on the edge of the centre square. Rigoni runs hard from half back, deep into the forward line. Chance for the Demons backing back. Robertson, not paid. Schwarz, booted 3 goals in the second term. Great tackle, brought down. And Daniels goes short and finds Stevens. Port Adelaide just sensing that maybe they can still come over the top of the Demons. Franco has worked hard, puts the ball over the line on the full.
disappointing for Nick Stevens. He's just starting to find a bit of the ball. Very quiet in the first half, but he had to kick into a competition there. Warren Treadray 1 against 3 Melbourne defenders, and it's always going to be hard with those sort of numbers.
Stephen Phoebe short. McDonald very slow. Lucky to get his boot to the ball. It was a poor kick taken by Daniels. Fabian Francis. Great tackle before to James inside the centre square. Pumps the ball long. Primus is coming out. He takes the front position. Tried to tap the ball on. This is where he's been very good. They force the ball. Burgoyne overruns the ball. Jew with strength. Feeds the ball out. Quick snap. Schofield is up. He's got 3.
Great rush by Schofield. He's kicked 3 goals in the blink of an eye and Port back to within 10 points. Melbourne for a moment it looked like running away with it. Lyle, great endeavour. Franco and things falling Port's way. Inside 50. Ball punched to the front. Another chance here for Port. Dew gets the hand pass away. Woewoedin on the toe. Going defensively though. Great work by Treadray, using his body well. Woewoedin again. The hand pass back. Look at Port's tackling. And treated races. What about a free kick, umpire? And he's joined by all the fans here at Football Park. It'll be a baller.
Well, looking about as pumped as they have all day. Sure, Mark Williams, I'm sure the message at half-time would have got through.
Is that all day or all season? Over the shoulder, free kick Port's way to Matthew Primus. Well, he can get Port to within a kick. And just a few minutes ago, Melbourne were leading 71-43.
Well, Port Adelaide's goals coming through Schofield with this opportunity here. Even more remarkable considering Melbourne got the first 2 goals just after half-time, and Port Adelaide were looking at a big deficit.
Primus, acting captain today. They need a captain's goal. Yes!
Matthew Primus very happy with that, as any ruckman is when he kicks a goal. Had those big arms going, waving around and round. It was one of those free kicks for the ball from the forward line. There he is down there. And you suggested that was one of the more obvious ruckman free kicks that we've seen this season. The big fella goes back. Not the nicest flowing kicking style, but it was pretty effective in the end. And he's certainly pumped up, as are Port Adelaide at the moment.
'71 plays 67. Port Adelaide are inspired. They trailed by 28 points during this third term, and all of a sudden 4 quick goals, and they can smell that they're back in this game. Donald Dickey to Lyle, to Fabian Francis, plenty of run in the legs, drills it, looking for Burgoyne. It was a bit too hot. James under pressure, tries to paddle the ball out, they'll pile on top. Ball up on the edge of the centre square. Demons by 4 points.
Just the Port Adelaide midfield starting to even up the score in this third quarter. Josh Franco, Peter Burgoyne starting to get amongst it. James as well.
Powell was tied up in the tackle. McDonald through the centre square to the half-forward line. Pitt is back on the ground, bumped away. They'll need a crummer. Good defensive play. Paxman kicks a high ball wide. It's a one-on-one contest. Pushing back is Stevens. Montgomery. Again, tumbles the ball back to the edge of the centre square. Franco's been very good. Stevens runs hard. Inside 50. Chance for Harwood off the hands. Gurgic, clean hands. It's been caught a couple of times today. Does well. Neats under pressure now. The whistle has gone. And it's coming back to Gurgic. In the back pocket, plus 50.
And the umpire, as he trots backwards, greeted by hoots ringing in his ears. Well, Melbourne need to steady here. They lead by just 4 points. 50 metres was handy. White in short. Gurgic wants to go longer than that. Just outside the 50. There's a big chance. It comes to Powell, front of the pack. Beams, good mark. Well, Benny Beams is built a little bit like a whippet, but he has pace. And it was just the break he had on his opponent then got him there first. Kicked a second quarter goal. Played 11 games last year in his first year with Melbourne. And playing just his 4th out of 8 this year. Beams for a bit of a steadier, even though Melbourne lead. 40 metres out, gets the goal.
Melbourne by 10 points, 12-5 to 10-7. Barnaby French at the centre bounce. Eyes off Jeff White. Puts his hands on the ball first. Just so important to get the ball from this centre break. Getting plenty of support from the crowd. Port Adelaide. Walsh is coming off for Melbourne. And Green is coming on. Walsh has been a very good player this season. He's been replaced by young Brad Green, young boy from Tasmania, from Australian underage cricketer, and also young soccer star, tried out with Manchester United. Powell goes to ground. Dickey on hands and knees, did well, fed the ball out. Franco's been magnificent. To Stevens, edge of the centre square, big bomb. Primus still took the front position. He'll try a one-hander. He was being manhandled by Ingerson. Has been forced through for a behind.
Peter Burgoyne looking there, a little non-plus. We want to just have a look here. Primus once again keeping the ball in front.
So the Demons bring it into Leoncelli. Defensive 50. He's cornered near the boundary line. Had to kick round the corner to Phoebe. Excellent mark taken by Barnaby French. Well, they've still got about 9 minutes of wind-assisted time in this term. If they can rush on maybe 4 or 5 goals, who knows what might happen. Stevens right in front, but 60 metres from goal. Couldn't make it from there, even with a breeze at his back. Melbourne have got back to flood the back line. Kick by Stevens, just put it up high to the goal square. And the mark taken by Ingerson. He plays on quickly. Melbourne not wasting any time. Beams takes the mark at left half back. Not a great looking kick. And James has got a fingernail on the ball. Through comes Francis. He's lost it. Play on, says the umpire. Melbourne up to half forward. The hand pass astray by Bruce. Look at the players out in the open here. Stevens. Oh, shocking kick. It was almost like Uze was wearing a port jumper. The whistle's gone. It may come back here. And it's going to be a Melbourne free kick.
2 kicks there, Nick Stevens. He's starting to get a bit of the ball, but these last 2 kicks have been complete waste into the Port Adelaide forward line.
Leoncelli with the free kick, and so instead of being back in their goal square defending, Melbourne are up at half forward.
Batsman on screen. He's got the big job playing on David Schwarz. See Schwarz doing the ruck work against Barnaby French. Good at 3 goals and an inspired 3rd term for the Demons. French to Franco, who's really lifted his work rate to the edge of the centre square. Schofield's been the star in this 3rd term with 3 goals. Stevens was tied up. Ball up on the edge of the centre square. 12-5-77 Melbourne. Port Adelaide 10-8-68. Just under 7 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. French starting to do well on the ruck, getting his hands on the ball first in this 3rd quarter. Strong tackle, Schwarz with strength. Just burst his way through to Powell, right on 50, wants to take him on, runs inside, closing to 30. Stephen Powell has missed. He has kicked 4 behinds today. Josh Franco, 10 possessions in this 3rd term. Has been a big winner in the midfield. Montgomery in the back pocket. They trail by 10 points. Pete Stevens over the line for a toss back in.
Stephen Powell, 4 behinds today. 10 points the margin, Melbourne in front. 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. So Port better get a wriggle on because they're going to run out of wind-assisted time soon. Woewoedin comes into Robertson. See that ball holding up in the breeze. Wilson camped underneath. A terrific climb from the back. Magnificent mark by Green. I think Manchester United might have had him in goal if he could reach like that and climb.
He looks a real talent, Bruce, this young boy from Tasmania.
Certainly his attack and his confidence there. And that is a perfect jump.
Well, maybe decided on Aussie rules because the money's here. There's no money in Manchester United.
Well, he's kicked 8 goals for the season.
In front, 50 metres out, into the breeze. Oh, that is a great kick.
Brad Green on screen has just kicked a great goal. He's an exciting prospect for Melbourne. Port Adelaide, can they hit back? Powell tried to feed the ball out. Stevens again comes in hard. Woewoedin on the bottom of the pack. Hasn't been as dominating in this 3rd term as he has been in the 1st half.
just up to 27 touches now,
Just
KB.
27 possessions and 8 marks.
Quieting him right there.
But young Josh Carr, playing his first game, has been the better so far, trying to shut Woewoedin out of the game. Simmons straight off the interchange bench into the ruck. Franco, 11 possessions for the quarter. Uze goes to ground, loose ball still inside the centre square. Carr did well. Stevens belts the ball inside 50. They need a kind bounce. Gurgic gets a beauty. Pumps the ball wide. Whelan caught, loose ball. McDonald from half back. Spears it into Robertson, who goes to ground. He's got Montgomery the beat, who wins out. And support. Schofield has been magnificent this third quarter. He's booted 3 goals. Then pumps the ball back. It's a good kick. And finds Harwood. He's on 50. He's got the breeze at his back. To the square. It's going right to the line. Primus hits it hard and he's got it. Too big, too strong and too good.
He absolutely got sure he got first touch.
Well, considering most of the day he had Peter Burgoyne in front of him there. Most of the day he's been hitting the ball and trying to keep it in front, but that one, he just had his name written all over it. Once again, Jared Schofield out there on the wing, fighting hard for that ball, getting the pass off to Harwood. Harwood quickly in. It was Primus and Burgoyne, 2-on-2. Primus with the mark, shot for goal.
From 10 metres out, Primus, his second goal, he's nailed it.
Schofield started it with a terrific chase and tackle.
Kept the ball in the area. Melbourne could have escaped. A couple of the players went to ground out here in the wing, but it came back. Schofield has been on fire this quarter. Harwood a good catch. It's been crazy. Amazing catch when Ruckman kicked goals. They might be 10 metres out, but they celebrate like it's a 60 or 70 metre tour.
What about the way he celebrated the mark? Up goes the ball.
A lot of pressure on Matthew Primus today. He was under a cloud with the virus, and he is acting captain. Darren Mead, Gavin Wagenin out of the match. It's a lot of pressure on him to carry the hopes of Port Adelaide, and with a virus, just added pressure.
Quarter kick 5-1 to 4-1 in this quarter, but Rigoni gets the hand pass out. It's astray. Comes to Lyle. His hand pass is astray. Burgoyne couldn't grab it. Anthony McDonald has been fantastic. He's kicked 3 goals, and Woewoedin has just dominated the midfield. His kick, half volley job, awkward down there. Not taken cleanly. Woewoedin again has another chance. He was out. The ball was in. Rigoni pushed in the back, said the umpire, and the ball will come back to a free kick to Rigoni. Running out of time in this third quarter. Just 3 minutes remaining. And Melbourne leading by 10 points, and they'll come home with the breeze. But Melbourne have proved it can kick goals to the right-hand end into the breeze in this quarter. On the run around is Simmons. His kick inside 50, and the chest mark is taken by Pitt. Well, what a fairy tale this is. He played with Collingwood in '96. He totalled 13 games. He moved back to South Australia with the police force, and has been playing here with Norwood, won the best and fairest last year. 26 years of age, returning to AFL football after a break of 4 years, and kicking for his first goal today. No, away to the right.
He was also drafted by the Western Bulldogs. But he didn't come across and play, but Melbourne talked him into coming back into AFL football.
Kicked 5 goals for Sandringham last week in the VFL.
Lyle kicks the ball out wide. 3 against 1. It was too much for Carr. They'll share the ball around. Rigoni to the run of Leon Shelley to Beams. A dangerous player. Half smothered off the boot. No mark. Cameron Bruce recovers. Quick snap. Great kick.
It was a great snap there by Cameron Bruce. The ball was touched as it came to the forward line there. He juggled it, came to ground. There's about 4 Port Adelaide defenders if you have a look here. The ball comes in. Handball back, smother off the boot. Hits it, keeps it in front of him. There's about 4 Port. He goes the other way though. The right foot snap. Straight through the middle, and there was 4 defenders in the middle of the field.
Back to 17 points.
Margin was 16 points at half-time, so Melbourne have actually won the quarter, kicking into the breeze. Powell goes off the ground, but the defensive mark has been taken by Montgomery. Across half-back, Matthew Primus. It's amazing you can run and carry that brace around with you. Kick by Primus to half forward, looking for Stevens. Uze pressures. Good mark, Stevens.
He looks like he's getting back to something like the good form he showed when he was in the Norwich Rising Star, top 3.
Patchman to Harwood. Oh, that would have been handy had he been able to hang on to that. They get it going goalwards. And again, Schofield has had a magnificent third quarter. The ball flipped out the back. It comes to Dickey and off the hands and through for a minor score.
That's where Harwood's got to get a little bit stronger, maybe put on a bit more beef out in front, just keep your body in front of the ball, not get knocked easily enough out of your hands because it was out in front. It was an important mark, an important contest. 91 plays 75. The Demons 14-7 to 11-9. Now the umpire says kick the ball now. Simmons is the target, so's Neitz, and he's got it, the skipper. So Melbourne answering the challenge of Port Adelaide. McDonald has been very good today. He's booted 3 goals. Woewoedin's been very good. Bundled out of the way. McDonald just tumbles the ball back to 50. Clean bowls, Bruce. Montgomery will get support. Wilson across half back. Finally the ball taken over the line by Primus.
Good pressure there from Bruce. He's running back with Montgomery. He knew the handball was coming off to Wilson. Chased him. The kick just kept it just outside the Melbourne 50 on the boundary line.
Read it well and peeled off. Schwarz doing the ruck work. Franco. Well, take a bow because Josh Franco has been magnificent for Port Adelaide in this third term. Harwood's a high flyer. The tackler was Morton. Whelan tried to weave his way through. Simmons is caught. It was a good tackle by Jew. It's a loose ball. It's a big ball. It's a hot ball. Morton's got it. The whistler's gone. And it's a free kick to Woewoedin, who's been the star of the day. 29 possessions and 8 marks. He's also booted 2 goals.
19 of those 29 disposals have been in the midfield too. So he's where the ball is, and he is where it is important for his team to get those touches.
Well, he hasn't stopped running. Uze's got it. A kick and a half from goal. And Schwarz is limping off for Melbourne. So there's bad news, and Robertson's come on. So the siren has sounded. A lead by 16 points, Melbourne. Adem to take this kick after the bell. I'm more concerned with David Schwarz limping. Uze's kick's going to drop short. So at the last break of 14-7-91, the Demons by 16 points. Port Adelaide 11-9-75. And David Schwarz in the dying seconds of that game limped from the field.
Yes, didn't look good. That quarter was dead level. 5 goals to apiece, so the Demons lead by 16 points and they'll come home with the breeze in the last turn. Football Park bathed in sunshine after overnight and early morning rain. Perfect conditions, and Melbourne appreciating it. They're 14-7-91 to 11-9-75 at 3/4 time.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter. Mitsubishi Magna V6. One drive and you're hooked. McDonald's Big Mac. And Telstra. Making life easier.
Well, some of the Mitsubishi Motors stats here for the Port Power. And for a while, they looked like getting right back into it when Schofield kicked 3 quick goals, but they just let the opposition get too many out of it.
Yeah, they did. Just see Josh Franco's statistics there. He got 12 touches in that third quarter. Nick Stevens, somebody came into the game. A couple of Port Adelaide's running players. And the score for the third quarter, 5 goals to each. I know Drew, you made great mention of how good Melbourne were in the second half and how bad Port Adelaide have been. But it was even and Steven in the third quarter, 5 goals to apiece. You couldn't be unhappy if you're Mark Williams with Port Adelaide's attack and a desperation, but as you said, Melbourne did get a couple of opportunities late in the quarter and in the first couple of minutes, and they made them count. That's where they got their 5 goals from, but Port Adelaide, they're certainly up against it. The flags are up. Win's probably worth 2 or 3 goals, but they can keep up that attack. A couple of lucky breaks. They're still there.
And Mark Williams just cajoling his team. Come on, give me our second win of the season.
Well, good news is that Schwarz has gone to the goal square. So
the way he limped off, it didn't look good, did it?
Looked like he injured his ankle, but he's okay and he's in the goal square.
It's just going to run it out, KB.
In that third quarter, I'll tell you what was great for Melbourne. 3 first-year players kicked goals in that quarter. Green, Wheatley and Bruce. And a second-year player, Beams, kicked one as well. So the youngsters really doing a great job for the Demons. And those first-year players, the goals by Green and Wheatley over distance into the breeze and the composure by Bruce were just fantastic. And the mark by Beams. Melbourne trying to improve their record to 5-3. And Port looking for their second win only of the season. Port are close enough, and Melbourne proved you could kick goals into the breeze in that third quarter.
Melbourne kicked goals by running, Drew, and that's what Adelaide showed a bit more of in that third quarter.
White with a big run, but French beat him. Lyle works it across to Franco, who had an outstanding third quarter. Kick by Franco, wide to the 50. Melbourne probably would want to see this ball go over the line, and Whelan makes sure of it. Matthew Whelan, who played his early football in Darwin and was third in the best and fairest in the Darwin competition. He played only half a season. White and French again. Give it to Barnaby once more, down to Franco. They can't clear the area, and the umpire will ball it up.
Shane Woewoedin amongst, I think Brad Lyle has taken him for the start of this last quarter, so
the
tagging rotation continues.
So the Melbourne bench there with Walsh and Leon Chelly, who's had a terrific season, but sitting on the bench along with Troy Simmons and Stephen Pitt. So Neil Danaher ringing the changes. McDonald to Woewoedin. Well, he's simply been magnificent, because when you've had 4 or 5 guys having a crack at you, trying to shut you down, and they can't do it, well, you've got to take a bow. Bruce to the half-forward line. Schwarz running freely. Sees the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Just on who could pick up Woewoedin. Adem Kingsley, he would probably be one name you'd put up, but last week, an indifferent game, he got knocked out the week before. I'm just wondering how long it has affected him. He's on the bench at the moment for Port Adelaide as well.
Demons by 16 points. Barnaby French got his hands on the ball. Green was driven to the ground by Franco. Was magnificent in that third quarter, along with Schofield and Primus. They really did keep Port Adelaide in the game. So a chance for the Demons. The ball up 45 metres out from goal. Schwarz doing the ruck work, was pushed out of the way by Barnaby French. Then Franco feeds it off to Fabian Francis, who usually uses the ball well. On this occasion, put his teammate Donald Dickey under a lot of pressure. It's on 50. Barnaby French hits it hard. He was dragged to the ground. Hands and knees. They've got to force the ball forward, crashing into each other. Look at the Ox. Schwarz bangs it forward and hits the post. 3 goals, 1 to Schwarz, and that would have been a team-lifting goal.
Just great strength there. You saw him limp off just before three-quarter time. Not too many problems there. The strength and experience of David Schwarz there. Unfortunately, just not quite finished.
Could have been a candidate for goal of the year. Might be the poster of the year. James comes up, but the kick astray. And Melbourne have it across half back to White. Jeff White steadies. 17 points the margin. Melbourne in front. It'll need to be a huge performance by Port if they're to get out of this. Uze's kick is a little bit wide. Sits all right for Beams, but he kicks out of bounds on the full.
Just had a little bit more time than he thought he had there.
Well, if somehow Port could manufacture a come-from-behind victory here, it would absolutely turn their season right around. And
they're not that rare here, Drew. One happened last week, actually.
Yeah, and it's, you know, Melbourne aren't too far out into the distance, are they? They're not that far away. Porter within 3 kicks. Franco. His kick over the wing, Treadray. Oh, magnificent mark by Neitz. And he goes short to White. Good running by Ragoni. And the pass on the bounce to Green. Good skills. Green off the left, comes wide. Uze takes the mark. 65 metres from goal, Adem Uze. Thumps it up short of the goal square. Players looking into the sun. It gets to the back of the pack. Tackle there on Wilson. And it's a Melbourne free right in front. And Wilson did the splits there. He doesn't look too good. He's taking a while to get up. So Robertson will take the free kick for goal. And this will be a cruel blow to Port. 40 metres, 35. Robertson gets it.
Well, he's booted 16 goals for the season, Rowan Robertson. His first goal today.
Michael Wilson coming off hurt in that incident down the goal square minutes ago.
McDonald and Uze. Near to the centre square, trying to force the ball forward. Fabian Francis wins a lot of the ball out of defence. Back into the centre square to the half-forward line. Running with the flight is McDonald. James the chaser to Whelan, who's looked pretty impressive today, playing in defence. Robertson, the high flyer, couldn't take it in front. Marking is a strength. Woewoedin at ground level. Caught this time by Lyle. He wanted a free kick. So did Donald Dickey. Robinson keeps playing the ball, though. Pile on top. Stephen Powell also has been pretty good today for the Demons. Gets up off the ground as well.
Wilson not looking too good.
Michael Wilson, after virtually doing the splits there at centre half back. White to Powell. Forces the ball forward. Montgomery would be happy to see it over the line. 15-8 Melbourne, 98. But Adelaide, 11-9, 75.
Just looking at Wilson there, down low on his leg, you wonder whether his foot perhaps didn't get caught underneath his opponent has got tackled there.
The Demons by 23 points on the half-forward line and a free kick to Montgomery. To Kingsley to the half-forward line. He's looking for Treadray. Phoebe with pace. Runs it straight over the line. And cuts a push. Now, Port Adelaide fans are going wild because they reckon that Phoebe just stepped over the line. It was deliberate. And then he got a shove. Have a look at this. Straight over the line, and then Harwood gives him a bit of a shove. So, lucks of fortune. Powell, again with those quick hands to McDonald. To Rigoni, who's been very good today. Stands and delivers from the half-back line. It's a big bomb. Getting back, couldn't quite take the mark, was Montgomery. It's a loose ball. James has to hit it hard. He's got 3 to beat. Bruce shovel the ball out to McDonald. The run is on. Looking for Wheatley. The youngster kicked a booming goal in the third quarter. Into the pocket, Schwarz. A long, long way out from goal. Backtracks and concedes ground and then drills it. And finds Whelan, who's down from the back pocket. Too far out to score. Again, concedes ground. McDonald. Virtually in the centre of the ground. To the half-forward line. Coming out was Beams. Just lost sight of it, and James pumps the ball back. Poor kick.
Kick to kick at the moment. Phoebe sweeps one wide to White. Beats one, beats another. And puts it up very high. Robertson was a good high climber, but couldn't take the mark. Kingsley the hand pass. Paxman up towards centre wing. Harwood. Well, the ball beats him out of bounds. Margin 23 points.
Boundary throwing, probably a good result for Port Adelaide. Harwood was there, but there was a couple of Melbourne players. Steve Paxman looked up, but really didn't have an option on the half-forward line.
Michael Wilson with a sprained ankle, having it taped. Here come Port again. They need a rush of goals. James, straight down the middle. Primus not moving all that flash. Comes to Ingerson, who punches away. Down to McDonald. Anthony McDonald, he covered the park today. 3 goals as well. Phoebe. And the ball just rolled over the line for a boundary throw-in. Time certainly running out for Port. Just under 13.5 minutes remaining.
Well, when the ball gets kicked into Primus, you've got to make certain that you've got your crummers there. You've got to push up as hard as you can to the front of the pack. Because Primus, whilst he can compete in the air, ground level, it's foreign territory. Not for Woewoedin. He kicks the ball out wide, and Robertson has taken a good grab. Bouncy player, been below his best today, but he has kicked a goal in this last quarter of the green. What a prospect, Brad Green. Great kick, inside 50, and finds Cameron Bruce. So 2 youngsters combined. They both kicked goals in the third quarter. Bruce, dangerous kick. Uze!
Mark of the day.
He came from a long way back. Beams was camped underneath it, but Uze just catapulted himself into the air and has taken a terrific mark. And he's hit his head on landing.
We kicked a goal in the second quarter from pretty similar situation, pretty similar angle.
Well, he's kicked 8 goals for the season, and mainly he's been playing this year on the wing and up forward, whereas in the past we've really known him across half back. Adem from a tight angle for a left footer, straight across the face of goal, puts it through for a behind.
Be a shame if you took the mark of the day and you got a bleeding nose, you got up that high and had to come off with a blood rule, wouldn't it?
Well,
you see Kingsley and Beams there, body to body. Uze made the run from the centre wing. His opponent Stevens came down, didn't fly with it.
Franco from Stevens. Dew just off the bench. You can kick it a mile. Kicks into the man. Went about 2 metres. And he goes off the ground now. Comes wide to James. James being cornered in the pocket. Back to Dew. Kick the ball, Stewie. Out in front. Here's a chance for Schofield. Who's the bloke who revived Port's chances in the third quarter? Can he do it again? Jared Schofield had a purple patch. Kicked 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes in the third quarter as Port got to within a kick.
He'd need to do the same this quarter, Drew. It's just starting to slip away.
Right in front. 35 metres out. Oh, Postman hit a lot today.
well, Treadray hit the post twice in the first quarter. It's a poster now to Jared Schofield, and David Schwarz also a poster in this last quarter. Robertson has pushed up and is marked on the half-back flank. Woewoedin with Lyle. It's been his tagger in this quarter. Had a crack at him early in the game as well. Woewoedin goes to the ground. This time they want a free kick. Again, they'll get a ball up.
Mark Williams spent a bit of time at three-quarter time with Braden Lyle, encouraging him, talking to him about obviously this last quarter job, how important it was to shut Woewoedin out for Port Adelaide to have any chance.
The Demons by 23 points. Still plenty of time for Port Adelaide. Just over 11 minutes left in this final quarter.
You know, players attempt to punch the ball. He's got a real good purchase on Uze and put him right on his backside.
White and Barnaby Franco has been magnificent today for Port Power. Just tumbled the ball forward. Morton just didn't quite have the strength to keep his body in line. There was a throw from Whelan. Wasn't picked up. Burgoyne, 75 metres out, pumps the ball back. Treadray. Well, a goal here will lift the spirits of Port Adelaide. He's had a big duel today. It's been a tough one against David Nix.
Certainly has. He had a good first half, a bit quiet in the third quarter. Only the 2 handballs, but he got a
Going
chance
for his
in the last
second
quarter.
goal. 45 metres out, it's an important kick. It's a bad kick. Out of bounds on the full. And that's one of the weaknesses of Warren Treadray. He's kicking for goal.
Has been for a number of years, and I know they work on it down at Port Adelaide.
McDonald on the rebound. Can the Demons hurt Port Power? Up towards centre wing. Daniels out in front. Over the line, a free kick for a push out.
KB, if Warren Treadray is going to be your key forward and is going to spend that much time there, his kicking really does have to improve.
So Daniels with his free kick. White works to the front and had his name written all over that from a long time out. Back to Phoebe. Oh, look at that kick to Robertson, who is somehow 20 metres in the clear. Gets the ball back to the centre corridor. Dickey climbs. Oh, comes out of the front to Schwarz. Open goal here. He runs in, and the skipper bananas it on the run.
Schwarz, a missed opportunity by Warren Treadray, and the Demons have rebounded. Very costly if you miss goals directly in front with set shots. James, toe poke off the ground. Wheatley, one of those impressive young players for Melbourne. Throw in Cameron Bruce and Whelan and young Green. You can see why the big improvement has taken place this year. Jeff White.
What about his performance today? Rucked all day.
Well, he's young, athletic, and I think he would enjoy the fact that he's got just the onus on his shoulders to carry the ruck for Melbourne. Port Adelaide go forward. It is Harwood. He's got a future. 65 metres out. Treadrayer gains the target. He's got it. That was a good, strong grab. Can he convert? And 2 Melbourne players are down. They're flashed. One is Anthony Ingerson, and the other's David Neitz. Now Treadrayer has to convert to keep the hopes alive for Port Adelaide. He's directly in front from 35 metres out. In fact, it's nearly the identical spot, Bruce, where he missed before. Ingerson's off with the blood rule.
You'd hope he'd learnt. There's certainly no doubting the attack by Ingerson and Neitz there on Treadrayer. Stood his ground in the middle, plucked it. You see Anthony Ingerson.
And Cameron Bruce comes back onto the ground. Ingerson off. Bang.
Well, he's hit the post twice, kicked 1 goal.
Well, there's still plenty of time for Port Adelaide. There's 8.5 minutes left in the game. Such an important kick. Treadrayer directly in front, leans back. Again, he's missed. So 2 chances have gone.
KB, there is time for Port Adelaide, but you have to take those chances. You have to take the opportunities. There's been 2 there, and we saw the ball race down the other end. David Schwarz kicked the goal. It just makes it that bit harder.
Twice by Treadrayer and once by Schofield. They could be at 16 points closer, Port, and they'd be right in the thick of this. They trail 16-9 to 11 goals 11, and 8 minutes 15 seconds remain on the clock. Ingerson holding his nose. White wins. His endurance is magnificent as well as his athleticism. Franco to Stevens. Just gets the hand pass away. French, good vision. Lyle in trouble though. Burgoyne. Stevens followed up. Now Harwood close to the boundary line. Hand passes looking for himself. Gets it himself. Good play by Harwood. Roger James now. Kick by James to the goal square. Treadrayer. And it's through for a minor score. Look at the chances they're missing at the moment, Port. I know that was a tough one. I'm not sure it was a shot for goal rather than a pass, but, well, they could be something like 22 points closer, Bruce.
Yeah. All right, as you said, that wasn't exactly a chance, but the ball is up there in the forward line, is up there in the goal square, and there are players running through. The signs are good, it's just the scoreboard isn't ticking over for Port Adelaide.
Phoebe to bring the ball back into the play. Kicks the ball wide, looking for Wheatley. Makes good ground. Just couldn't quite take control. Harwood had it and lost it. White closed quickly, rockets the ball, finds Whelan, who's done very well today. Didn't quite hit his target. Got a lucky bounce was McDonald, and White runs on a casual bounce. Point of the centre square inside 50. The poor kick. And Montgomery from the back pocket. Sets it up, finds Paxman. They'll need a quick goal if they're to challenge Melbourne. Running with the flow of the ball is Lyle. Too much carry. Boundary throw in.
Well, Jeff White, 7 marks, 19 possessions. Most of the day his opponent in ruck has been Barnaby French, who's had 1 mark, 6 possessions. It's an absolute hiding.
Devon's by 27 points. Lyle.
Well, just going to touch on Jeff
Tight
White.
by Woewoedin.
He is a quality, experienced AFL ruckman. Matthew Primus has spent most of the day for Port Adelaide in the goal square, and Jeff White has made the most of it. Barnaby French, for most of the day, they haven't exactly been next to each other, and Jeff White has reaped the reward.
Burgoyne goes to ground. He was held against Shane Woewoedin. Burgoyne from centre wing. 6.5 minutes left for Port Adelaide. They trail by 27 points. 16-9 to 11-12. Barnaby French was the target. Whelan again tried to weave his way out of trouble. He was well tied up. And again a ball up just inside 50.
Actually, White's game is probably quiet compared to last week against the Eagles. He had 26 possessions and 11 marks last week. But he's a potential Brownlow medalist of the future, Jeff White. Powell, Phoebe kicks into the pack, comes to James, gets his fist on the ball, floats it over the top. Here's a chance for Treadrayer. He might kick the hard one after missing the easy ones. Across the face, French Can he keep it in? He needs to. Back to Suey Dew. Further back he comes. Here's a chance for Paxman. It got there. Everyone seemed to stop. Now, what the boundary umpire, what's happened here? I don't know what's going on. It's a goal, free kick.
It's a free kick.
So Dew takes the kick quickly into James, and he's in a good scoring position. He's just 25 metres out, not far off centre. Roger James kicked a goal early on in the game in the first quarter. 27 points the margin. Have they had some chances in the last quarter? And he's missed as well. Well, that is seeing a gift horse gallop past and looking it right in the mouth. In this last quarter, Port have kicked no goals, 4 behinds, and a couple of them have gone out of bounds. Melbourne have kicked 2 goals, 2. So it hasn't been the big finish that Melbourne usually have, but they've got time left to build on it.
Simmons on the charge to the half-forward line. He was looking for Green. Free kick caught high. Fabian Francis. They can waste no time. Kingsley down from half-back, drills it and finds Treadray. Too far out to score. Barnaby French could be the target. He's got to make ground. He's got it. Well, they keep on coming, Port Adelaide. They're just wasting too many opportunities. They trail by 26 points. Barnaby French. 3 goals for the season. Just in his second season. He's a very promising player. Treadray's missed a couple of opportunities. Schofield missed one in this final quarter. Can Barnaby French nail it? 40 metres out. No angle to speak of. Oh. The crowd tell the story. They just hang their heads. So they just continue to shoot himself in the foot.
Oh, this has been absolutely criminal in the last quarter. So much ball inside the 50, and they haven't managed a goal. Not one. Neats takes the mark on the defensive 50 for the Demons. So the Demons look like coming away with the points here. We're under 4 minutes remaining. And a terrific season by Melbourne, who've revived themselves after the disappointment of last year. So the last 3 seasons, up, down and back up again. Morton with distance into the breeze. Neats gets back. Good mark. And coming off Treadray. They locked horns for a moment, and it was just a battle of strength. Neats won it. Powell to Whelan, and now Gergic. Kick by Gergic up towards half forward. Good punch by Daniels to Paxman. Stephen Daniels running out of room. Schofield. Not a bad kick by Schofield, a beauty. And a difficult one to mark, because Stevens ran out of the shadow into the sun. In the last split second, he would have been looking right into that sun to take the mark. Good catch. Whelan couldn't get back on him. So come in short to Kingsley to improve the angle. Kingsley will be kicking from about 46 or 7 metres and looking to break Port's drought in the last quarter. At last!
The Demons by 19 points, 16-9 players, 12-14. Just over 2 minutes left in the game. You would think time has run out. Franco has been magnificent today. He has battled so hard in the midfield. 31 possessions, played a damaging third quarter to really give Port Adelaide a chance. Along with Schofield and Primus, they kicked 5 goals between them. But some wasteful shooting for goal up forward has really robbed them of opportunities. But Melbourne have been brave all day. Green looks the goods. Outside of the 50 to Robertson, they'll set it up short and finds Powell, who's won a lot of the ball today. 27 possessions and 7 marks. The only blemish He's had 4 shots at goal and he's kicked 4 behinds. Should be playing for Port Adelaide.
Actually, this is already Melbourne's highest score against Port. They've only played 5 times before.
9 individual goal kickers for the Demons. Powell just taking his time, making certain he's got the laces done up. 6-4 behind, so the confidence won't be high. He's shooting from around about 45 metres. Be a nice sealer to his day. The ex-Bulldog now making his mark with the Demons. From 45 metres, can he kick his first goal of the day? He has. He's nailed it.
This year have been against the Kangaroos by 25, St Kilda by 90, Fremantle by 31, West Coast last week by 61 points, and a pretty comfortable win, even though not spectacular today, over Port. Woewoedin, another kick out of the middle. He was barrelled by Kingsley after he got rid of it, but Woewoedin has just kept on gathering the Sherrin today. Free kick to Stewie Dew, and we count down. We're in the last minute of the game. Up short he goes to Burgoyne. French on a wide lead, didn't quite complete the mark. James at the front, and in he comes to Morton, round the corner, and good mark taken in defence by Wheatley. The youngster playing just his 3rd game from the Preston Knights. Wheatley comes short, and I've lost